talk about a subject very, very near, dear, and very painful to my old heart, and that is the collapse of the city of Johannesburg. So, you may or may not recall, 2 years ago, what used to be known as Bree Street, thankfully renamed Lillian Ngoyi Street, blew up. It exploded. There was apparently gas in the this you can't make up. There was apparently gas in the pipes under the street. And the manhole covers had been welded shut because people were stealing manhole covers. So the gas couldn't escape, methane gas, and some mysterious spark caused the whole street to explode. Middle of the day, suddenly, it looked like, some program from Vladimir Putin in Russia, but the street, which is one of the main arterial roads in the old city of Johannesburg, exploded 2 years ago. So there was the usual wailing and gnashing of teeth. Our city of Johannesburg didn't quite know what to do at that stage. We were still in the grips of puppet mayors. These were mayors from small parties. But they've subsequently been replaced by the most honest politician in South Africa, a chap by the name of Dada Morero, who's the mayor of Johannesburg. And why I call him an honest politician is because he's the only politician I've ever known who said he was going to do nothing, and he's been true to his word. So he's done nothing. Now let's remember, the city of Johannesburg is run by a coalition of the ANC, the EFF, and the Patriotic Alliance. So let's not put this all at the door of the ANC. But in any case, this coalition saw it fit to have Dada Morero as the mayor. And now back to our exploding Bree Street, which exploded. It was about a 500-meter stretch of road that blew up 2 years ago. Well, we're into our second contractor. The first contractor got 19 million rand for doing nothing, and they got kicked off the job. They were a crowd called, I must give you the name just in case you ever hear from them so that you won't use them, called Step Up Engineering. They clearly didn't step up. And they've subsequently been replaced by a contractor called Corone Engineering, who are apparently going to finish the job. The only problem is that this job that was meant to be finished now is slated to finish in a year, which probably means 2 years from now. The price has risen from 192 million rand to 216 million rand, and people are saying this is totally well short of the price that it's going to end up costing. More than 120,000 rand per meter of road repair. You can only imagine this. This is just brilliant. Well, Johannesburg City is bankrupt. The only way that they can pay salaries and pay their expenses is by lending money. So the city lends money, not for capital projects, which is usually, if you're going to extend your house, you would perhaps take an advance on your bond, and then it would increase the value of your property, and that's useful use of money. But no, the city borrows money and then uses it for short-term expenditure like salaries and things like that. But don't worry, there's a plan in the city, because to fund the fixing of the streets and a few other projects and salaries, we have an 87 billion rand debt, by the way. The city's got a new plan, and that is to sell off some of our green spaces, our parks. In most cases, these are facilities that were bequeathed to the city by residents in days gone by. Who owns the property or who manages the property? The property is actually, there's going to be a court case, because the property was left to the people of Johannesburg, not to the city to do with whatever they like. But anyway, this stuff is managed by Johannesburg Property Company, which is run by a compromised individual called Helen Botha. Helen Botha has currently got a couple of charges of corruption leveled against her. But the ANC, EFF, and Patriotic Alliance are comfortable with this. Now there's a plan to sell off Marks Park, parts of Emmarentia and Emmarentia Dam, Melville Koppies. They say that they probably won't sell the whole thing. They'll just sell pieces of it. They're just not telling us why. I want to start a petition for Johannesburg, and that is, please can we change the name of the city? Because I don't want Johannesburg to be remembered as this mess that we live in. You know, at least when the ANC mismanaged what used to be called Port Elizabeth, they at least had the good grace to rename it Joburg. When they mismanaged Durban, they called it eThekwini. When they mismanaged Bloemfontein, they called it Mangaung. Please can't we change the name of Johannesburg? Because anybody that remembers this once great city would be so devastated if you had to see what condition the city is in at the moment. Potholes everywhere, street lights don't work, traffic lights don't work, metro policemen don't work. It's a mess. The water doesn't run out of the taps, but the rates haven't gone down. You just can't sell your property. And what used to be the heart of the South African economy is now just a joke, except that I don't know whether to laugh or whether to cry. Thank you for joining me on the Political Insider. We'll see you again soon.